if you're not getting movement on something you want, does that mean that you need to clean up your vibration? Usually. Or does that mean you need to goose up your desire? Rarely. But you're going to like this. Sometimes you can clean up your vibration by thinking about your desire. However, it's tricky because sometimes when you think about your desire, you work against yourself because it makes you notice that it isn't. So you have to figure that out. You have to figure if the thoughts about your desire are aggravating to you, stop them. But if the thoughts about your desire are making your juices flow and you're feeling excited about it, then keep it up. And find topics where your juices flow easily. That's the most important thing. Find topics where you feel. If Esther wants to find something fast, she just has to pick any room in any house and begin gathering furniture for it. Or moving the furniture around in her mind that's already in there. Or replacing that rug with something else. Something that's really fun to do is to just take all the furniture in your house and put it in different places and see if you like it better. In your mind, it's kind of a heavy job to do in case you're wrong. That's just something that rings Esther's bells. For a long time, if she wanted to feel happy, she just thought about the treehouse in Texas. And she thought about how it stands and how it feels and what it means and the energy of it and how tall it is and how she can look. And she doesn't have to be in the treehouse to feel happy with those thoughts. So just keep your pocket full of thoughts that easily make you feel good, because this is the most important thing we want to say to you. You do not need to be thinking about the topic of your desire in order to cause the momentum to get going faster. The momentum will naturally increase. It is always about releasing resistance. It's always about clarifying vibration. It's always about getting out of the way of something that already has happened vibrationally that you are now wanting to let happen in terms of seeing it, hearing it, smelling it, tasting it, and touching it. You get that? Don't you ever wonder? We want you to wonder how thoughts turn to things. How does this happen? It's easy in your physical body to look around at the stuff that's already been created, and as a society to squabble over who gets it, sort of slicing up the pie and arguing about who's getting the biggest piece of it. But we want you to think in terms of being your own pie creators. Never mind the pies that people are trying to split up. Create new pies. Your vortex is full of pies. It's time for you to let them into your experience. It's time for you to turn your thoughts to things. Sometimes people say, well, I feel like I have come to the dock and my ship sailed without me. It's a very common way that people shoot themselves in the foot. And we say, there'll be another one and another one and another one and another one and another one. But if you're so pessimistic you don't hang around the dock, then you're not ever going to meet up with the ship that's coming for you. Yesterday, a woman told a story. She wanted to come. And she wanted to book a flight. Could not really figure out how she was going to do it, but a friend figured out how to get her on standby. So she went to the airport, and the first flight came up, and she didn't get on it. And then the second flight came up, and she didn't get on it. And then she called her friend, and she said, I didn't get on the first flight or the second flight. And her friend said, well, maybe you could fly to New York and then you could catch a standby, which didn't seem like the path of least resistance. But it caused her to set into motion some thoughts. And then she went to the ticket agent and she said, what do you think about me flying maybe to another city, maybe to New York, and then getting a flight? And the ticket agent said, where is it you want to go? And she said, Chicago. And the ticket agent said, well, I'll tell you, there's a plane that's just coming in. It was under repair. It's coming from somewhere else, but it's almost here. And it only has a flight crew on it, but it's going to Chicago. I can get you on that plane. So she got on this airplane, and she was the only passenger. It was just the flight crew and the flight attendants and her. And she said the flight attendant stood in front of her and gave her the safety announcement just for her. And then the captain came through the loudspeaker and said, ma'am, we are about to take off. And we really want you to feel how things are always working out for you, and things of extraordinary nature are at your fingertips all the time. All the time. Oh, if you could see the content of your vortex, you would be dancing in the streets all day, every day. You'd be feeling such thankfulness about where you are perched in terms of what's about to come to you. What would be so terrible about this desire taking a little while longer? Now, that was an interesting way for us to approach that. But sometimes when you're stuck like you seem to be stuck on this, sometimes it's helpful to say, can I live without this manifestation a little while longer? And there's something about saying, yeah, I can stand down on this. I can stop using this unfinished thing as my reason to put myself in a knot, because that is what you're doing. You're all balled up for no reason over something that you could just as easily set aside for a little while. All right, Abraham, here's my question. So I have something that I want that I've wanted for a while. And I believe what you say, that it's in the vortex and that it's all gathered together and it's ready for me to receive it. But for whatever reason, I'm not getting in the flow of it, and I don't see any really noticeable progress about that. So my question is, should I think more about it and therefore try to increase my momentum? And we say yes, unless when you think about it, what activates is the feeling that it hasn't come yet and it isn't fast enough and that it's taking too long, which is the vibration that's most dominant within you about this. Because anytime you're saying, I want this thing that isn't coming fast enough, it's always because there is resistance that is keeping it from coming. You've got 487 engines on your track going that way, and you've got 487 engines on your track going that way. And every time you think more about it, you put another engine here and another engine here, and you don't make any progress. Where if you can just stop thinking about it, count your blessings, think about the things that are working, think about the coffee and the cappuccino coming, think about all of the things that you feel good about, think about the things that are working, make a list of positive aspects of your life, get off the subject, and as you stay off that subject for a day, some of those engines will dissipate. Your desire will not. You know why? You don't have to tend to your desire. You know why you don't have to tend to your desire? Take a guess. Because your inner being's over here tending to your desire, because your desire is certain. So when you stop doing that thing you do that's holding you in tension against what your inner being is doing, so every day that you don't think about it, another engine drops off, another. And as on that subject, those engines drop off, then you'll start having some inspiration. Then you'll start noticing some things are working. That's why, have you ever wondered, we know you have, wondering it right now, have you ever wondered why the things that you don't care about come so easily? And the things that you really care about seem to be harder in coming. It's because you think more about those important things. And when you think about them, you often, mostly usually, put another engine on your track going in opposition to what you want. Because you've been trained, bless your hearts, we love you so much, you've been trained to think and to work and to try. And even the word focus means try. You've been oriented in action. And so it just doesn't seem right to you that you can just want it and let it come. What kind of deservability is that? You see what we're getting at? You really got that.